and this is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news, and I've got 4 bits of big news. I've just put up 5. 4, well, I have got 5. I've actually got 8, but I've got 4 big stories to start off with for you this morning. A bid for a left-back that you all want from Spain, which I think you know the name. I don't. And we've also got an update on Sancho. People getting very excited about Sancho. I think we need to just calm this down. I think it's the whole, I want to be first. I want to be the first who says the deal done. There is no being first on Jadon Sancho. Look, the Jadon Sancho deal has been done since the start of August, effectively. I mean, it's not officially done, of course, but it's been ready to go since the start of August. So people going, it's done, this, that and the other. Look, if you've been on the Sancho boat, which we have on this channel, it's going to happen. And I've known about it a long time, and I've got loads of tweets ready to bury people when it happens. But it's not going to happen yet, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Thiago, again, a good update on the Thiago transfer. I'll tell you about that. But let's start off with Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez has come out and said that the first day he trained with Manchester United, he wanted to rip up his contract and go back to Arsenal. A wise man once said this, and I think it's my quote, actually. When searching for the blame, a wise man should always look in the mirror before blaming others. And this is exactly the case with Alexis Sanchez. Look, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'll kick my foot on the door. I'll open a cupboard and bang my head, and I'll punch the cupboard and call it a C-U-N-T. I hate that word, but I will get mad and I will blame it. But the reality is it's my own fault for not being careful. And Alexis Sanchez came to Manchester United when Man City wanted him. He came to Manchester United. He was the best paid player in Premier League history. And he has the cheek to say, after my first day, I wanted to rip up the contract. You greedy, ungrateful little shit. I mean, basically, you are the best paid player in Premier League history. You go to your first day at work and you don't like it. And he's the best paid player. He's on like 400k a week and he didn't like his job. And we're meant to feel sorry for him. And they say nurses have it tough. Alexis Sanchez, best paid player in Premier League history, goes to work and didn't like his first day and wants to go home. I mean, it's just, look, we think, to be fair, Premier League footballers, British players get a lot of stick. But I tell you what, Alexis Sanchez ain't British. So I tell you what, it's not just British Premier League players who can act like prats. What an ungrateful prat. I tell you what, I feel sorry for his dogs. Take those dogs off him. Get the RSPCA on him, because he must push them out the way to eat the dog food, because his breath stinks. He talks crap. What a load of nonsense. I feel sorry for those dogs having to listen to him and his nonsense all the time. But look, if he wanted, I wish he'd ripped that contract up. I tell you what, I heard that news today. When we got rid of him, I don't know about you, but I was like in the garden. The way the neighbours was like, what's he doing running around in his pants, swinging his top round his head? I was like, yes, he's gone. Let's build a bonfire. Let's have a party. The only person I really feel sorry for is the piano guy who taught him how to play. He's crying. Alexi, the piano guy's crying. Like, what are you doing? He spent all that time teaching you to play the piano and you wanted to go after day one. But I tell you what, I wish he'd ripped that contract up and gone back to Arsenal, because that says nothing about Manchester United. Look, he was a bad signing. He probably messed up Lingard, Martial and Rashford by coming in. I totally agree with all that lot. But look, Alexi, I wish you'd ripped that contract up and gone back to Arsenal, because you would have saved us a lot of money. And also, if that's your ambition to go back to Arsenal, who, let's be honest, was shit at the time, just like we were. But look, you know what? If that's where you wanted to go, you should have ripped that contract and gone back. What a sensationalist load of shit. What he's trying to do here is, he knows United fans don't like him. So he can never be popular with United fans. He's almost in the category of Di Maria. Nobody really, people don't like Sanchez. It's not like with Lukaku, some people like him. It's not like, other players that leave. Like if Lingard left or Mata left, people would like them. No one likes Alexis Sanchez. So he's like, what's my legacy in the Premier League? Man United don't like me. Oh, I need to get in with the Arsenal fans. I know, let's pretend on day one I wanted to go back to Arsenal. I'll tell you why Alexis Sanchez is speaking out of his arse. Because do you really think when you're on 400k a week and at Arsenal you're probably on half that, you're going to rip your contract? Oh, I want to go home. Oh, I hated it. I wanted a pass off Jesse Lingard and it didn't pass. So I want to go back to Arsenal now. It's just hilarious. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And look, I'm so happy he's gone. And all I would say is I really wish he had ripped that contract up after day one and pissed off. I really do. But there you go. We move on. Anyway, let's get on with it. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Let's start off with the transfer news. So we're going to talk about Thiago. There is some hope around Thiago, but it sort of fits in with Sancho. So I'll talk about those together. Let me talk about this, because I had a lot of people last night. Great show by Flex last night. Superb new studio by Drawty. I'm going to nick that. If he thinks he's just having that to himself, you watch. I'm going to be in that studio as well. But there was a story last night that came out from Sport, which is a Spanish outlet, saying that Sergio Reguilon, or however you pronounce it, left back Real Madrid, Manchester United had made a €30 million bid. Now, a lot of people were messaging me saying, why haven't you gone live on that? Because I don't believe it. I said it on Twitter, I don't believe it. And they were like, oh yeah, but Sport, they were first with the Donny van de Beek rumour. And I was like, yeah, but you know, you've got to have some sort of grounding when it comes to transfers. And to be honest with you, I'm getting to that point now where I'm sure many of you are, where I'm just getting a little bit tired with the transfer window. I think there's a lot left to happen for United. I think it's going to be very exciting. But I think we are getting into that time now where people are just trying to be first, and we're getting a lot of bollocks. People are trying to be first on stuff. I want to be the one who's first. And I think that, look, Sports were probably first on Van der Beek because they're a Barcelona outlet, and Van der Beek was very heavily linked to Barcelona this time last week. So I would imagine Barcelona leaked to Sport that they weren't getting him and that United were going to win the race. And I think that's why they were first on the deal. So that, to me, that's logical. Why would a Barcelona outlet be first on a bid to Real Madrid for a Real Madrid player? It doesn't make any sense. And as far as I know, and I'm still going to stick with what I said yesterday, we're not going to buy Reguilon from Real Madrid for many reasons, but mainly because it's not a priority position, and also because Real Madrid would want a buyback clause, which is basically just a long-term loan, which United won't want to do. So I don't think that's going to happen. And I mean, I heard some idiots saying, oh yeah, I've been saying that we need to get rid of Shaw, and now United are looking at a left back. It's nothing to do with getting rid of Luke Shaw. Trust me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer absolutely loves Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw will be playing for Manchester United next season, which is great news for me, and I'm sure for many of you as well. But we do need a left-footed left back to provide some cover in that area. I just don't think it's going to be that particular player. So, you know, that's why I didn't go live on that one. Mark, if we sign Thiago, should we sell Fred McTominay, given there almost certainly won't be any place for one of those two, says Karan. Well, interestingly, Juan Mat has been linked with a move to Turkey now. I think it's Galatasaray. This has happened a couple of times over the last couple of summer transfer windows. And it's going to be interesting because one of Mata, Pereira or Lingard are going to go. They're going to go. Whoever it's going to be, I don't know, but one of those will go. So keep an eye on that rumour. Let me talk to you about Thiago then, because Thiago and Sancho do fit in very, very close. Now, I was talking to somebody about this morning. Thanks for talking about mental health on the second channel. It's important, says Mansheep. Yeah, if you want to see that, that's on my channel, Mark Goldbridge. I'll drop the link in the community tab, but you can find it anyway. I think I called it my real name or something like that. So I'm glad that's helping people out. It certainly helps me out. But so right, look, the situation with Thiago is this: that Manchester United have a slim chance of getting him. This is still there's no movement on that. Liverpool are still very much favourites to get him, but United could do something here. There is still a feeling from Bayern Munich that this Liverpool bid is not there, and that United have spoken to Thiago. And there's a little bit of, well, the wages are too much, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So there's a hope with Thiago. And what I would say about Thiago, something I saw this morning, which would really excite you. People think Thiago's this creative no-look passer, which he is. But also, when you look at his stats last season, he made more interceptions and more ball recoveries than the whole of the Liverpool midfield. More than Fabinho, more than Wijnaldum. So he is a player that if United brought him in at 29... who can play the role that Matic plays and share that role. Now, look, maybe Matic goes to the bench, Thiago starts, but the reality is you're building your squad out there. You know, if you look at your bench and you've got, you know, you bring Sancho in, so one of Greenwood or Rashford goes to the bench. You've got Van der Beek, so one of Van der Beek, Pogba or Bruno go to the bench. You bring Thiago in, so one of Thiago or Matic goes to the bench. Suddenly that bench is looking very, 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 very strong. So look, I think Thiago would make a lot of sense for United. A lot of people have been saying that today is the D-Day for Thiago, and it will be decided today. It won't happen today. It won't happen today, and Jadon Sancho won't happen any time before next Tuesday. The reason being, we are in the middle of an international break. Spain played last night. De Gea masterclass, by the way. I'll talk about that in a minute. Spain played last night, and Spain are playing on Sunday. Thiago will not be leaving the Spanish squad to sign for Liverpool or Manchester United this weekend. So Thiago's not going to happen until next week. Jadon Sancho is with England. They play tomorrow and they play on Tuesday. Jadon Sancho will not be leaving the England squad to sign for Manchester United. So the key week for Thiago is from next Monday, and the key week for Jadon Sancho is from next Wednesday. So you can get, maybe we will get stuff over the weekend, deal done or anything like that from somebody credible. But I don't think we will do, because neither player can actually come and sign or do anything like that anyway. So, a little bit of what's the word? Reality around those transfers is really important. Adash Mohan, latest member of the United Stand Members Club, and Thiago retired yesterday, says Sazwat. And De Gea fighting for his spot. I love to see it, says Ghost. Well, I thought De Gea was absolutely fantastic last night. I mean, I've got a lot more things to talk about, but I thought that De Gea had a really good game last night. And look, people saying that it's got to be Dean Henderson in goal. Well, look, if Dean Henderson's in England's goalkeeper tomorrow and he does well, then maybe. But I don't think he will be. And I think that that it will definitely be a situation where he can work. And I think De Gea should be the goalkeeper. I do. I'm De Gea number one until Henderson proves or De Gea doesn't. And I think yesterday was great. Scholl's Music says Sport is a Madrid-based publication. Mark, not Barcelona. Mate, look, that's a super chat. Thank you very much. But you're totally inaccurate. And this is the thing about transfer news. It's very hard to get everything right, but I don't really like people putting stuff that out because it's completely wrong. Sport is based in Barcelona. It's a Barcelona outlet. AS and Marca are Real Madrid papers. Sport is a Barcelona paper. It's how it works in Spain. So you're giving out false information there, and people might believe that and think, oh, it's exciting, they're a Real Madrid outlet. They're not. Sport is a Barcelona-based outlet. They're not Real Madrid. Real Madrid is AS and Marca. You think that buying Thiago will bench Pogba, since I see Thiago as a number 6, not a CDM, and he's better than Pogba currently unless Pogba can get his head right, says Aguilar. Well, this is the thing. If you see Thiago as a 6, we're not buying him. If you see Thiago as a CDM, we might buy him. And I think you make a very good point there. I don't know whether United would see him as a Matic sort of challenger. I think they'd see him more as a Pogba challenger, in which case you've brought Van der Beek in. So look, United might not pursue it. They might not pursue it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Can we loan Reguilon for a season, then buy? I think Twansibi return might mean we wait a year to sign up a Meccano or another centre-back. Thiago plus Sancho equals Dreamland. I mean, look, Tommy Vincent makes a good point there, but the problem is, thank you for the contribution, Matty Patch. The problem is that Twansebi has been out for a year. I can't get behind let's not buy a centre-back because Twansebi's back. He's been out for a year. The season before that, he was on loan at Aston Villa and he missed about 2 months injured there as well. You cannot... I mean, look, if you check my Twitter timeline at Mark Goldbridge, before the live tweet of this show, my second to last tweet, look at what I quote tweet. It's a tweet from August, start of August last season. And I said, if Pogba gets injured, this midfield is like a championship midfield. And it was right. It was absolutely right. You know, we were one injury away from trouble. And yeah, look, Van der Beek and Bruno are very good signings, and fair play to United. They've sorted it out, but they should have sorted that out last summer. A lot of us saw it coming. And the centre-back issue is very, very similar. We're going into this season, and I'm telling you now, one injury to Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof, and we are in trouble. Because Twansebi's been out for a year. Can't trust him at the moment. Mengi's very young. Phil Jones, forget about it. Chris Smalling's leaving. Rojo's awful. And Eric Bailly, well, look, you know, which way's the wind blowing? You just don't know with Eric Bailly. So we do need to sign a centre-back. And, you know, I read that James Cooper was saying that Upamecano was scouted extensively, but United have decided not to go for him. Well, look, is the centre-back position going to be our midfield of last year? Are United learning? I think You know, signing Sancho, signing Van der Beek, very, very good deals. But your transfer window is judged on the whole. And the hole in this team at the moment for me is centre-back. Left-centred centre-back is a hole. Because I know we're getting Sancho and we've already got Van der Beek. So the left-sided centre-back or a quality centre-back is the hole in this team. So, and we could have the same situation as last year where, look, Wan-Bissaka was a great signing. Harry Maguire was a great signing. But we left the midfield and the attack exposed. This year, are we going to go, we're so good in the midfield, we're so good in the attack, but we're crap at the back? I mean, I saw a tweet off Adam, who's on the show last night, and he put the team out for the Europa League final, and he was like, you know what, I reckon that team's really good. And I said, mate, I disagree. I think in attack and midfield we've got a really good team, but that back four that we played in the Europa League against Sevilla, it's all right-footed. It's totally imbalanced. It's not a good back four. Williams, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof is not a good back four. You've got to have balance. And Adam was like, yeah, well, I agree with you about the left back. You need a left-footed left back, you know, Luke Shaw, whatever. But I don't agree about this myth about a left-footed centre-back. And it's not a myth. It's not a myth. You can get by with two right-footed centre-backs. But when you want to split your centre-backs, which is what most teams do, having a left-footed centre-back who's good is better than having a right-footed centre-back who's good. If you've got a world-class left-sided centre-back who's right-footed and a left-sided centre-back who's left-footed but is only good, you're going to go with the world-class one. But what you want is a really, really good left-sided centre-back who's left-footed, and I think that's what United are looking for. Where do you rank our squad in the Premier League? Fifth best, says Modder Girl. No, I still think United can a third. Welcome to Tommy Vincent, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Thanks everyone who's joining the Members Club, by the way. Really appreciate your support. We don't do this Patreon or paywall or stuff like that. Everything we do is free. So thanks for joining the Members Club and supporting the channel. You get your little badge next to your name. Matic can play centre-back if we need. CV Kevin, this is Stoke City talk. We're Manchester United. What are we going to do? Scott McTominay could go up front if we want, and we can hit long balls to him. We're a good side. We're a big club. We need to have proper squad depth. Do you think, you know, look at what happened to City last year. They didn't invest in their centre-backs. They had a bad season. Fernandinho spent most of the season playing as a centre-back. It's not ideal. You've got to go. Pau Torres, says Rowan. I mean, Pau Torres played for Spain last night. I thought he had a bit of a mixed game. I mean, look, from a United point last night, I thought De Gea was fantastic. I thought Dan James did well for Wales. What a big season he's going to have. So it's exciting. 1 week today, the Premier League starts. 1 week tomorrow. 2 weeks tomorrow for Manchester United. And as I said, for those people joining a little bit late, Thiago expect over the weekend, next week for him. And Sancho, look, I've always said Sancho's coming to Manchester United. I'm totally confident. If people want to jump early and say deal done, there is no jumping early on Sancho. You either say the deal's going to happen or you don't. That's the way it is. It's always been about timing for the Sancho deal. It's always going to happen, but it's always about timing. And for me, the Sancho deal, there's very little point in saying the deal's official or whatever like that, because it won't be official until at least next Wednesday, because he's with England till next Tuesday night. So I don't think with Sancho, I think we're a week away from the escalations. I think this next week is about the next signing, and I'm interested to see, because as I said yesterday, I was expecting some big news from United over this weekend, and I'm just wondering what that's going to be. Are we going to get what we got with Donny? Are we going to get something centre-back wise that people are just not thinking about? Of course, if United are interested in Pau Torres, again, that's not going to be this weekend, because he's part of the Spanish squad. So to me, if United are going to do something this weekend, it's going to be probably Badiashile or someone like that who's not part of an international squad. And I don't think he is. I do think Luke Shaw can play left centre-back if we sign Reguilon Mark, says Chris. I don't think that will happen. I think that's just a fan theory. I don't think that will happen. Chris Smalling, he's going to Roma. This is escalating very quick. Maybe that's the big deal that's going to happen at the weekend, although for me, I don't think that's a very big deal. This is going to happen, Chris Smalling, very, very, very soon. There was talk of 25 million quid last night. I don't know where that's come from, because what it's going to be is €3 million that we got last year for the loan, €3 million for this year of the loan, and €15 million obligation to buy. So all in all, the whole Chris Smalling deal will be €21 million, of which we've already had 3. He'll officially become a Roma player next season. He will loan this year with obligation to buy. So we're going to make around 16, 17 million on Smalling, which, to be honest, you know, it's not too bad, is it? With Sancho coming in, it could give Dan James the chance to cover on his more comfortable side, which is left wing, says Craig McCurchie. Yeah, I think Dan James in general was just overplayed last year. And I still think the first 6 weeks of the season with Dan James, everyone was living up his arse. They were like, oh, what a great player he is. And I think he did start off really well. That goal he scored against Southampton was superb. I just think he got overplayed. And I think it's a big step up from the Championship, and he had a lot going on. So I think I've always said this. If you're watching the United stand the last 8 months, I've said next season's the season to judge Dan James, i.e. this season. I really hope Dan James goes up a level this season, so Ollie isn't afraid to use him as an option off the bench for Rashford or Sancho, says Ian Boyster. Look, and the criticism of Dan James is fine. You know, I agree. I think at times he looks really, really, really bad, but I think it's going to be a big season for Dan James. I really, really do. Couple of super chats to read here. Dan James is more comfortable on the right side. Big season ahead if we get Benoit and Sancho now. Brilliant. Van der Beek signing has lifted my spirits, says Aditya. What about you, Mark? Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to getting the football back, and I want United to just get the deals done now. I want to get focusing on this season, because I'm never a big fan of the season starting and then you're still doing business, because your mind's on two things. Let's just get ready for the start of the season. Mark, do you think we should also be looking into a left-back, says Raul? I think we do need a left-back, but I don't think it's the priorities for United. I think the centre-back and Sancho are the priorities at the moment. What is the narrative that Ollie will play a diamond next year because we've signed Donny van der Beek? Do people not understand the concepts of a squad, says Shuddy? Donny brings depth and will not force change of formation. You're spot on. That won't happen. Hi, Mark. Stumbled across you over a year ago. Just want to say thanks to you, Flex, and everyone on the United stand for all the great times, says Shaky Jakey 5. Thanks, Shaky Jakey. Great show. I don't agree if Sancho deal fails that United look bad. In August, you were happy with United not paying over Pogba price for Sancho, says Sean Sullivan. And Salim says, did you see De Gea yesterday? Guy was on fire. Hopefully it's a sign of the season to come and there isn't needless rotation amongst the keepers. I think Dean Henderson, Salim, has made a big risk. I really do. Gary Neville was on about this the other day, but I was on about it way before this, and I'm going to stay with this. I don't think it's a good idea to have Dean Henderson and David De Gea in the same squad. I really think it's a bad idea. And look, I prefer De Gea to Dean Henderson at the moment, but maybe in the future Dean will be the gatekeeper and De Gea will move on. But either way, I don't think it's a good situation. And Gary Neville was on about this as well, but I was saying it before. It's a bad situation as far as I'm concerned, because if you put De Gea on the bench, the cameras are on De Gea all the time. If De Gea's in goal, the cameras are on Dean Henderson all the time. Dean Henderson's on 120k a week. David De Gea's on about 350k a week. These are two of the best paid goalkeepers in the league, and you only really play one goalkeeper. Unless one gets injured, you only play one goalkeeper. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a very inexperienced manager. He still is. It's one of the reasons I like him. It's one of the reasons I'm willing to give him leeway, because he's still learning on the job. I don't think Mourinho would want two goalkeepers like Henderson and De Gea. I don't think Ancelotti, I don't think Pep, I don't think they want that headache of two goalkeepers battling for one spot. I'm telling you now, all the great sides have one goalkeeper that is their goalkeeper that they trust. Whether he makes a mistake, they stick by him. That's the blueprint. United are going down this road of this new idea of having two great goalkeepers for one spot. And I know goalkeeping. I've even had goalkeeping coaching when I was younger. So much of it is mental. You know, you're on your front post, a shot's coming across, one arm, you know that's covering your front post. You step out a bit to cover your back post. All about angles, all about concentration, all about confidence. I'm not so sure that Henderson and De Gea, and it works both ways. Imagine if Ollie sticks Dean Henderson in the goal against Palace. The cameras are on De Gea. One mistake, you're gone. I don't think it's a good idea, but look, I hope I'm proved wrong. Wouldn't Zorc ruin his reputation because he was certain Sancho was going to stay? The Muppeteers yesterday said Sancho is the next deal, says Extras E. And thoughts on David Alaba could play left centre-back and provide cover competition. It's not going to happen, Callum. I mean, there's plenty of players I'd like it, but it won't happen. Concerned that we start a week after the others could be mentally exhausting to always fight from behind, says Gustav. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's ideal for us or Man City as well. I don't, but it is what it is. We got to the latter stages of the Europa League, and City got to the latter stages of the Champions League, and therefore you were given an extra week off. It could be a benefit. I don't know. On Michael Zorg, who's the Dortmund chief exec, isn't he, saying that Sancho's going to stay. I don't think Dortmund care. Dortmund are not Manchester United. Dortmund are not Bayern Munich. They're not Juventus. They're not Real Madrid. They're not Barcelona. If Barcelona say Messi's going to stay and then he goes the next week, they look idiots. If United say Pogba's definitely staying and then we sell him next week, we look idiots. If Dortmund say Jadon Sancho's definitely staying and then they sell him the next week, they don't look idiots, because ultimately, if I said to you, what is Borussia Dortmund to you? If I say to you, what's Manchester United to anybody, they'll say, well, Manchester United's one of the biggest clubs in the world and it should always be fighting for titles. Doesn't mean we will. We've got no divine right to that, but that's what our motto is. If I said to you, what's Borussia Dortmund, most of you are going to say, oh, exciting, they buy young players, they play good football, and then they sell those players. So if you're a Dortmund fan, you know that. You know you are in Bayern Munich's shadow. You know you're not a club that's trying to win the Champions League or the Bundesliga by keeping players. You are a club that buys talent and sells it high, and it's worked for you for years. So basically, if United pay the fee that Dortmund want, then Dortmund will come out and say, look, we wanted to keep him, but we've got the price that we said we were going to get. And as Christian Falk said yesterday, and it's a good line this, basically he said, Dortmund don't want to sell Sancho, but there is an agreement with Sancho that if they get the fee they want, they will let him go begrudgingly. So it's not a problem that Dortmund have said, oh, Sancho's not going. They want the fee. If United pay the fee, he goes. Just tuned in, and that Sanchez dog food comment is a classic. Besides that, great content, Mark. Any news on when Axel is back, says Braden Barnett. Mark, can you call me a prat for my birthday, says Rockets fan 19. Rockets fan 19, you're a prat. Happy birthday. Weird, but fine. Axel Tuanzebe is not even back for the start of the season, as far as I'm aware. I think he's back in September, but I don't know whether he's back training, match fit, or whether he's back resuming training. Luke Shaw's back. We know Luke Shaw's going to be back for the first game of the season, but I don't know about Tuanzebe. I think he is in training. I'm sure I saw pictures of him yesterday, but I don't know whether he's back. Because look, if you've been out for a long time with an injury, look at Marcus Rashford. He's probably got 6 weeks of recuperation to get back to be training with the first team. We saw it with Pogba as well. So I don't know how far along his recuperation Tuanzebe is, but we'll see. Chelsea are becoming stronger and stronger, says Livy. I mean, Chelsea have had a mad transfer window, but I tweeted that this morning as well. Look, people don't seem to understand this, but if you go through any football club and look at their transfers, I'll guarantee you 30% of their signings flop. It's a statistic. It's a statistic. Not every transfer works. And I guarantee you, actually, if you went through Man United's last 10 years of signings, we've probably bought, God knows, how many? How many players do you think we've bought in the last 10 years? I would say well over 30. I'll guarantee you maybe 50, 60% of those have flopped. But Chelsea fans won't listen to this. But the reality is, over any transfer period at any club, I'll guarantee you at least 30% of any transfers will flop. So Chelsea have bought 5, 6, maybe buy 7 players. If all 7 of those players work, Lampard deserves Manager of the Year. It's very difficult. And also, you're integrating so many players, but the advantage they've got is look. I would have liked Ziyech at United. I would like Werner at United. I would like Havertz at United. I wouldn't take Chilwell. I don't rate Chilwell, to be honest, and I never have. It's nothing to do with Chelsea. Thiago Silva, I'm not convinced that he's going to be able to do it in the Premier League at that age, but he's a very, very good player. But their attacking talent looks like it'll be good. Mark, I just passed a very difficult exam today, and the only distraction I allowed myself while preparing is watching the United stand. Thank you for all that you do. Now I can focus on Sancho, says Harsh Knee. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Sancho is the next signing, because if Sancho is the next signing, I would wonder, is he the only signing? Are we only signing Van der Beek and Sancho? And I would be happy to say that here now. If we're not doing this other signing, and we're just going to do Sancho, it's going to be about money, and it's going to be a lack of money for the third signing. And if we're going to sign Sancho, it's not going to happen for at least a week. And I think when you sign Sancho, it's such a big thing. Maybe we won't bring any. Maybe it will just be Sancho and Van der Beek. So it's going to be very interesting. If Sancho's our next signing, I don't think we'll do any more business. But I feel United have got this week, before the Sancho deal starts to kick in properly, that they've got this window, this weekend and early week next week to do something. There is a feeling they're going to do it, Be interesting to see if they do, because I think if they don't do anything in the next week and then they go for Sancho, which is what's going to happen, I don't know whether we'll do any more business. So, you know, maybe people will go out the door this weekend. De Gea's form always been reflection on how he performs for his country. His form last night could be a good indication, says Tejas. Look, David De Gea, on his day, is one of the world's best goalkeepers. He's not had a great last couple of seasons. He knows he's under pressure. When you're under pressure and you're a top level athlete, you respond. I would put David De Gea in goal for the first game against Crystal Palace, and he would be my first choice goalkeeper. If he doesn't respond to that pressure, then Dean Henderson's going to get his shot. But for me, my point is, why I don't like having Henderson and De Gea at United is, if De Gea starts the season really well and plays really well for 5 or 6 games, but then makes a big mistake, you will be saying, drop De Gea. I know you will. I know you. Not all of you, but, you know, in general, the general consensus will be drop De Gea. He starts the season, he's absolutely world class for 6 games. He makes one mistake, you will demand Dean Henderson in goal. That, to me, is wrong. That's a mistake. Because if he's done really, really well and he makes one mistake, I will show you one mistake by Ederson, Alisson, but Pep and Klopp will stick by them. I don't like it. I think it's an unhealthy situation to have a goalkeeper with a world-class goalkeeper on the bench, and I think that's what we're going to have. And I don't think it's going to help either of them. So, but there you go. United have done it. Good day, Mark. Did you ever play Championship Football Manager back in the day? What about Pro Evo? Take care, champ. Keep up the great work, says Myron. I did play all those, thank you. And Adama Traore plus Sancho and Van der Beek. Imagine Traore at United, unstoppable. Not going to happen though, Mason Porter, but you can get away and imagine. Tyler Cole says just rotate them both. No, you don't understand the goalkeeper profession, do you? It's all about confidence. It's all about consistency. It's all about, you know, playing regularly. You can't swap goalkeepers in and out. And also, if you've ever played centre-back or right-back or left-back, the relationship with your goalkeeper is very important as a centre-back. You don't want it to keep changing game to game because it's something else you've got to worry about. Let's have a look if there's anything sort of breaking just before I move on to the next bit. Havertz has gone to left the German team to go to Chelsea. That's breaking news. That one's been running for a long time as well. Yeah, that's breaking news as well. Martial's better than Werner. I have to disagree. Werner has 1.4. TVK, I don't care about your stats. I don't care about your XP. I don't care about your FIFA ratings. I rate Martial more than Timo Werner. I don't care. Make it go viral again. I don't really give a shit. I rate Martial more than Timo Werner. I like Timo Werner. I would have welcomed him at Manchester United, but I never would have kicked him out for Martial. It would have been good competition, but Martial, to me, I wouldn't kick Martial out of the team for Aubameyang. Now, everyone's going to say Aubameyang's better than Martial. It's not about that. It's about being happy and loyal to what you've got. Now, look, if you want to give me Kovacic for McTominay, I'm not going to be loyal because there's a big difference in the ability. But for me, Martial, I don't see a huge difference in Martial and Aubameyang, Martial and Werner. I don't want to swap Martial out of the team. I don't want to swap Rashford out of the team for Mo Salah. I know Mo Salah's better than Rashford, but I believe in Rashford. I believe in his talent. I think he's going to have a very good year next year. So this is better than that. It's always a futile argument when you're talking about one of our players against one of your players, because you're quite rightly going to stick with your player and we're going to stick with our player. So it's a futile argument. Apart from Smalling, I don't think anyone is news. Can you give any updates on Pereira, Lingard, Jones and Rojo, says Logo. I just think they're very difficult to move on. I think United would love to move on Rojo. They would love to move on Phil Jones. But who's going to buy them? That's the problem we're having. And as you know, especially with both of those players, they're both on very good wages. So United are going to have to take losses on these players, which I think's worthwhile. Ricardo Fidalgo member with the little Martial emojis, loving it. Anyway, look, how do you see the Pogba Fernandes partnership, says Braden? Well, I think we've already seen it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pogba signs a new contract in October. I don't think it needs to be done in this transfer window. It may well happen this month, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens at October, November time, because it will happen, but it doesn't need to happen at the moment when loads of other things are going on. What about Regulan and Thiago, says Franchise? Well, I spoke about it at the start of the video. The Regulon story, I don't believe, for the reasons I've already stated. Sport are a Barcelona outlet. Why would they have a scoop on a Real Madrid player? I just think it's speculation. And look, Sport were right about Donny van de Beek, but I'll tell you now, Sport have been wrong 99% of the time with Man United. So I'm not too interested in that. There's nothing credible around that at the moment. And Thiago, look, very much a Liverpool player if Liverpool want it to happen, but United are floating around there. Let's see what happens. What's the deadline? Sancho can play against Palace, says Simon Cooper. I don't know. I'd bow down to the live comments. I've been watching since 75,000. Can you please give a shout out to my daughter Eva as she loves this channel, says Simon. Shout out to Eva. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a good day. And Martial all the way. I've put a bet on him to be top scorer next season, says Dylan. Ridamy says, I really don't get why we don't do loan deals if we have money problems. Keep up the good job. Also love the background of yesterday's Flex show. And I've got a new member as well, which is Mikael Roach. Thank you. And thanks to everyone who has become a member today. Really appreciate your support. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new for any updates. Bottom right hand corner. And we're live again tonight, of course. And we'll be live again today if anything happens, and it may well. I just feel United are doing something. Let's see what happens over today, tomorrow and Sunday. I'm going to do my Premier League prediction show actually today. I'm going to put it up on Mark Goldbridge That's Football, so if you want to check that out, it's going to go up around sort of 1-2 o'clock today, so subscribe to that channel if you want. Just type in Mark Goldbridge That's Football. My Premier League prediction, top 6, relegated sides, top scorer, player of the year, all that jazz. So you can give that a watch. God bless Van de Beek, Viva Van de Beek, long live Van de Beek, c'est magnifique Van de Beek, magnifique Van de Beek, Van de Beek, says Dave Davies. Thanks, mate. Tongue twister, but loved it. Speak to you all soon. Have a good day. That's Sanchez. What a blood.